velvet transmission, low frequency, cold and tight. Velvet transmission in the air, signal calm and rare, not broadcast for the crowd. Not spoken loud, there was static in my speech, overreaching out of reach. Every word a power play, trying not to fade away. I mistook the spike for truth, for heart and proof that if I raise the tone, I never stand alone. Now the code is layered deep, not something cheap. It resonates without the shout, without the doubt. Bassline rolling under skin, heavy discipline, like encrypted in the law without flaw. Transmission low but clear, no fear, masculine and steady wave, not slave. Velvet transmission code, strength in undertone mode, no overload, just roll. Velvet signal through the night, confidence tight, no need for a spotlight or fire. 420 drifting thin and slow, like signal underglow. Not to mask but to refine the edges of the line. There were frequencies I chased, high and waist, believing volume and control of room and roll. Now the waveform smooth and round, grounded sound, still the guitar, bending blue, speaking true. City lights flicker like static, but I'm systematic. No sudden spike or drop, no need to pop. Masculine and constant roll, it's calibrated chords, choosing when to speak and when to keep. Velvet transmission low, nothing left to overthrow. Strength that doesn't show, but glow. Velvet code beneath the bass, steady pace, no reactive trace in place. Younger signals flare too bright, burning through the night, trying to dominate the band unplanned. I once lived in that noise, chasing highs and pours until the channel thinned and silence crept within. Now the code is stable tone, fully grown, engine humming toward the dawn. Signal on, velvet, signal still. Smoke room, street light reflection, confession in low tone. Smoke room, one divided glare, city breathing midnight air, reflection sliding on the hood, mirroring what I understood. There was polish on my face, but tension in the bass. Every word metallic tight, every glance prepared to fight. I want confidence like steel, hard to touch and hard to feel. Thought of me must never been, never crack, never descend. A chrome without a core, it's hollow at the door. It shines beneath the light, but rattles in the night. Now the metal's brushed and real, tempered edge I don't conceal. Not flashing for effect, just built on self-respect. Confession don't require a crowd, it don't need to be loud. It's spoken low and slow, where only real ones go. Smoke, crow, confession tonight, masculine without the bite. No compulsion left to fight, just right. Smoke, chrome and steady glow, no more racing undertow. Confidence that moves slow below, 420 drifting thin and wide, softening the form of pride. Not to blur accountability, but to deepen clarity. There were nights I burned too clean, surface sharp and cold sheen, overcompensating doubt by forcing presence out. Now I sit inside the frame without chasing nothing new to get tall, bending deep promises I keep. City skyline brushed in gray, nothing left to prove or say. The engine hum becomes my song. Smooth chrome car. Masculine ain't mirror glare, it's weight you quietly bear. It's how you hold the heat without defeat. Smooth chrome across my chest, former chaos laid to rest. Strength internally assessed, blessed. Smooth chrome and fading light, no reactive appetite. Discipline aligned and tight, upright. Yeah, younger versions still reflect sharp edge, self-respect, mistaken shine for soul and noise for control. I once carried that allure, equal parts defense and ploy, until the silence showed the overload. Now my chrome is smolten deep, not fragile, not asleep. Engine humming toward the dawn, surface calm, chrome, smooth, smooth, smooth.
Dark glass horizon, methodical breath.
No spectacle,
Dark glass horizon in my view, skyline cut in cobalt blue. Everything sharp yet calm, open palm. There was method in my past, but it moved too fast. Every strategy defensive, overly intensive. I equated dominance with skill, with imposing will. Thought precision meant control of every role. Now the method slowed and deep, not cheap. Built on pause and breathe, not threat. Baseline thick beneath the tone, like foundation stone. Dark glass reflecting light without fire. Horizon wide and still, no need to overfill. Masculine without display, measures sway. Dark glass, horizon method, strength without the credit. No need to edit or embed it. Dark glass under neon gray, night turning into day. Confidence that stays always.
don't games up,
drifting like a seam between what was and what I mean. Not a break from discipline, but settling within. Feel the guitar bending low, echoes of a form of flow. Sharper, faster, prone to spark, living in the dark. Now I hold the edge with care, aware, not cutting at each word or absurd. City hum like distant drum, no longer something I must overcome. It's rhythm in the frame without game. Hey. masculine is not attack. It's knowing when to step back. It's control without the fear of appearing unclear. Dark glass steady in my chest. Former chaos put to rest. Strength internally assessed. Best dark glass, horizon line, breath line. No reactor sign defined. Younger methods chase the wind at any cost within. I once calculated that way every day until the mirror showed the overload of tension dressed as drive. Barely alive, Now the method simple, clean, discipline unseen. Engine humming into gray, night fades away. Horizon steady, dark and wide. Calm inside, no spectacle required, just wild. Da da da.
Indigo pressure. System intact. Indigo pressure in the chest. Not the panic of unrest, but density refined by discipline of mind. There was pressure in my youth, misinterpreted as truth. Every slight an urgent cue, every challenge overdue. I believe the tightest grip proved leadership and ownership. The attention and control, the body, room and roll. Now the pressure's evenly spread, not living in my head. It stabilizes flow, keeps reactions low. Baseline heavy, thick and wide. Balance tight, not explosive at the seam. Calibrated steam, system built on breath and spine. Masculine design, pressure without break, without quake. Indigo pressure, steady tone. Strength that's fully grown, no need to overthrow. Indigo beneath the sky, no urge to amplify. Confidence that won't deny, won't rely. 420 drifting cool and slow, softening undertow, not dissolving what I feel, but helping it reveal. There were nights I ran too hard, system overloaded card. Every word a trigger spark, living in the dark. Now the voltage flows in line, regulated spine. Sent the guitar bending blues, speaking true. City lights like distant cold, no longer heavy load, just rhythm in the wire of tempered fire. Pressure ain't collapse, it's how you map your weight against the ground without the sound. Indigo pressure inside, no need left to collide. Masculine but clarified, align. Indigo and midnight hue, nothing frantic left to do. Discipline steady and true through. Younger system spike and strain, equating pain with gain. I once lived inside that surge, on the edge of urge, until the body signals slow, letting me know strength ain't constant flex, it's reflex checked. Engine humming in the dawn, pressure still on, but balanced in design. Fine pressure. Indigo.
whispering my name. Surface smooth and barely stirred. Every thought a quiet word. There was turbulence below, current strong and hard to show. I mistook the splash for death, held aggression in my breath. Thought that volume proved the core, that restraint meant something poor. Chase the wave and chase the sound, letting chaos keep me crowned. Now the water's dark and deep, secrets I can keep, not exploding at the shore, not hungry for more. Baseline rolling like the tide, heavy but not wide, contained within the frame without the need for flame. Neon flicker overhead, nothing left unsaid. Masculine and calm design, align. Still water under light, no compulsion left to fight. Strength is quiet but tight, right? Still water in the chest, form of chaos laid to rest. Confidence internally pressed, blessed. 420 drifting soft and thin, settling within, not to sink into the haze, but to slow the blaze. Man, guitar bending low, like undertow. City lights reflecting waves, nothing to prove or save. There were nights I broke the surface, living on nervous purpose. Every ripple turned to storm, every norm to form. Now I float but never drift, every breath a gift. Still water doesn't fear the night, it holds a light. Masculine ain't tidal crash, it's depth beneath the flash. It's snow and winter ride without disguise. Still water steady and deep, promises I keep, no need to overleap or leap. Still water under sky, no urge to amplify. Breath and spine align, refine. Still rise and fall, mistaken splash for all I once churned that way. Day by day until the mirror showed the overload, the storms I didn't need, fueled by speed. Now the surface stays composed, nothing forced, nothing imposed. Engine humming toward the dawn. Come on.
Oblique moon, oh, directive clear, no deviation. Yeah, oblique moon cutting through the glass, silver angle as I pass, city leaning in the night. Not wrong, not right, there was order in my tone. Rigid as a throne, I thought controlment. Straight lines, hard designs, every word a measured strike, every silent spike. Directive issue from the chest, never rest, but the moon don't shine direct. It bends, reflects, oblique and still precise, cold as ice. Now my lines are slightly curved, self-observed, not inflexible, still but real. Baseline rolling thick and slow undertow, not exploding at the seam. Control beam, directive carved in breath, not threat. Masculine and quiet frame, without the flame. Oblique moon in the haze, strength refined by phase. No compulsion left to blaze, just gaze. Oblique moon, directive tone, fully grown, no brittle undertone. Stone 420 drifting silver thin, settling within. Not rebellion, not escape, but reshaping shape. There were nights I drew the line, sharp design, zero tolerance for bend, rigid end. Now I study angles slow, let it flow. A unit guitar bending deep, vows I keep. City skyline tilted wide, mirrors how I ride. Firm but not severe, clear. Oblique moon, steady light. No instinct left to fight. Confidence without the bite, right? Oblique moon under steel, nothing left to conceal. Discipline I feel real. Younger minds love straight attack, no slack. Equating bend with break mistake. I once carved my stance that way, night and day, until the fracture line appeared and cleared. Now I move at angle pace, grace, engine humming in the dawn, directive on.
Concrete velvet under tide, under skin. Concrete velvet under wheels, city wrapped in muted still. Night descending thick and slow, like thoughts I finally let flow. There was gravel in my voice, every answer forced by choice, to dominate it or defend, every sentence sharpened in. I equated calm with weak, thought silence couldn't speak, so I filled the room with tone to prove I stood alone. But velvet can't exist in stone, strength don't need to overthrown. It can sit inside the chest without demanding test. Baseline rolling heavy round, anchoring me to ground, not erupting, not withdrawn, just steadily drawn. Theory built from lived design, breath aligned with spine, masculine without the mask, no overtask. Concrete velvet in my veins, no more living through the strain. Strength that doesn't need the rain, remain. Concrete velvet midnight hue, nothing frantic left to do. Confidence that's quiet, true. Through 420 drifting thin and wide, softening the form of pride. Not to numb what I became, but to temper in a flame. There were drives I took too fast, running hard from shadow cast. Every glance felt like a call to stand 10 feet tall. Now I sit inside the frame without chasing name, without tightening the jaw at every flaw. Through the guitar bending low, sounding like a temper glow. Not suppressed and not extreme, balanced in between. City lights like molten thread, weaving through my head, but no longer pulling tight. No need to fight. Masculine ain't brittle force, a steady chords is not the loudest in the room. It's low and boom. Concrete velvet in my chest, former chaos laid to rest. No compulsion to impress, just yes. Concrete velvet steady tone, not dependent on a throne, fully grown. Younger shadows still ignite, living wired for the fight. I once thrived in that terrain, addicted to the strain, but time compressed the spark, turned pressure into mark. Not a scar that bleeds, but discipline that leads. Engine humming under gray, night dissolving in the day. Concrete velvet holds me firm, no need to squirm. Theory proven mile by mile, masculine without denial. Still intense but under control, integrated soul. Velvet, concrete, complete. Choco Pulse, Low Confession.
on the way it lives. Not wildfire in display, but heat that stays. There was carbon in my speech, out of reach. Every phrase a shielded wall, standing tall. I mistook the ash for depth, held my breath, believed that quiet meant defeat. Incomplete. Now the charcoal blows in place, not erased. It doesn't flare without intent, it's spent. Baseline thick like midnight cold, grounded soul, rolling steady undertone, fully grown. Confidant inside the chest, unstressed, masculine without applause. In a loss, charcoal posing, violet air, nothing frantic there, strength and aware. Charcoal blowing, steady mind, refined, no need to amplify or deny. 420 drifting low and wide, cool in pride. And I'm asking the flame, but naming the name. There were nights I roared too loud in the crowd, overcompensating doubt, letting heat out. Now the pose is deep and tight, low light, muted guitar, bending slow, underglow. City breathing carbon gray, fade away, but I remain composed, exposed. Masculine, a roaring fire, it's wire, conducting heat with care. Aware. Charcoal pulse under the sky, no urge to justify. Confidence that won't rely. Charcoal steady in my chest, form a chaos, laid to rest, no overtest. Younger sparks still flash and flare, thin air, mistaken blaze for coal and more. I once burned without control, took its toll until the charcoal taught what can't be bought. That engine humming in the gray, night gives way, pulse intact, low tone alone, glow, low.
Just reverence. Phantom lane beneath the tires, ghost of former fire. City empty, breathing slow under neon glow. There was traffic in my head, words unsaid. Every slight a speeding car, every scar. I believed in constant motion, aggression as devotion to a version carved in pride that never stepped aside. Now the lane is wide and bare, air, no rush to overtake or break. Baseline rolling deep and clean, in between. Not colliding with the dark, but marking spark. Reverencing how I steer clear, masculine and quiet lane, no strain. Phantom lane through violet light, no compulsion left to fight. Strength contained and tight, right. Phantom lane beneath the sky, no need to amplify. Confidence that won't deny but won't comply. 420 drifting thin and cool, breaking rule, not escape but settle in mind. The lines, you the guitar bending low, echo undertow, city glass reflecting gray, fade away. There were nights I forced to speak, out of need, believing slow man, we can meet. Now I cruise in measured pace, space, letting silence lead, no greed. Masculine ain't constant, races, paces, knowing when to glide and when to ride. Phantom lane steady hum, no need to overcome, strength already won. Phantom lane to break a Younger drivers chase the line, redesign, mistaken speed for thrown alone. I once lived in that fast blur, infer until the empty lane reveal what's real. Engine humming in today, no delay, phantom lane behind, quiet mind, lane still will.
Slow orbit over lights, city breathing in soft bites. Not beneath and not above, just suspended in self-love. There was gravity and pride, pull me to the outer side, to the louder, brighter lanes where applause replaces brains. I mistook the height for worth, thought expansion meant rebirth, but altitude without a core leaves you drifting more and more. Now my orbits measure wide, not inflated by the tide. I revolve without the rush, without the need to crush. Baseline rolling thick and deep, like a promise I will keep. Not to react on impulse spark, not to romanticize the dark. Orbit built on inner mass, not fragile glass. Masculine and slow design, align. Slow orbit over steel, nothing frantic in the wheel. Confidence I don't conceal, but feel. Slow orbit in the night, no addiction to the height. Strength without the fight. Right, right. 420 drifting like a ring around everything, not escape, not haze, just awareness of the phase. There were moments I would flare, heat filling air, equating friction with a lie, chasing drive. Now the orbit holds me still, without bending will. I can step inside the storm and keep form. Pour the chords beneath the tone, sound like something grown beyond the need to overstate or escalate. City skyline like a map of where I used to snap. Now it's simply backdrop scene, 40 in between us and a man don't lose control. He circles whole, he doesn't crash for speed. He reads, slow orbit, steady glide. Nothing left to hide, masculine but clarified. Inside, slow orbit through the gray, night dissolving in the day, and I stay this way. Younger engines burn too hot, every moment tied a knot. I remember chasing spin without anchor within, but anchor grew from time, from pressure and design. Not from noise but choice, engine humming on the sky, no words to amplify. Orbit steady, breath align, quiet mind. City shrinking in the view, still present, still true, but no longer owning me. I'm free, orbit. Slow.
Silence. Protocol engaged. No speckle.
Amber silence in my chest, different from the former stress. Not explosive, not extreme, but disciplined and clean. There was volume in my past, spoke too sharp and spoke too fast. Believe that force ensured respect in every dialect. Protocol now redefined. Measure breath and mind. I don't escalate the spark, I don't bark. Street lights flicker and below, reflecting steady glow. Not inviting confrontation, not demanding validation. Baseline thick beneath the tone, like something fully grown. Not defensive, not afraid, just unshaken, unbetrayed. Silence isn't weakness shown, it's command that's grown. It's choosing not to react exact. Ember silence in the air, nothing frantic there. Masculine and aware, rare. Ember silence protocol, no need to stand 10 feet tall. Strength that doesn't fall at all. Ember silence in the air, nothing frantic there. Masculine and aware, rare. Ember silence protocol, no need to stand 10 feet tall. Strength that doesn't fall at all. 420 drifting slow and thin, like settling within. Not to mask the flame, but to rename the urge to dominate, to overcompensate, to treat each word as test and never rest. New to guitar bending blue, carrying the truth that calm is heavier than shout. Without doubt, city hum like distant tone, no longer overthrown by ego's restless cry or need to amplify. Product in a fire is tempered desire, not suppression, not display, just steady single silence in my core, no need to roar. Confidence I don't ignore, bestow. Ember silence under sky, no need to justify. Breath a line define. Younger silence in the air, nothing frantic there. Masculine and aware, rare. Ember silence protocol, no need to stand 10 feet tall. Strength that doesn't fall at all. Younger sparks still fly, believing heat won't die. I once carried that design, reactive spine, but silence taught me weight. How to regulate, how to stand without the push, without the rush. Engine humming in the dawn, night nearly gone. Protocol intact, no need to react. Ember silence holds the line, masculine refined, not loud, not cold, just control. And silence, ember, remember.
Engine mama's love.
Cobalt afterglow on chrome, city humming like a tone. Not demanding, not extreme, just suspended in a dream. There was time I chased a flare, needed heat inside the air. Equated friction with a lie, equated chaos with the drive. I would sharpen every word just to make sure I was heard. Built an image carved in steel, hard to touch and hard to feel, but steel grows cold without a flame, without purpose, without aim. Now the glow is cooler blue, not loud but true. Baseline rolling thick and wide, like a tempered inner tide. Not erupting at a glance, but controlled in stance. Ritual in how I steer, breath clear. Cobalt calm beneath the skin, settling within. Cobalt afterglow tonight, masculine but light. No compulsion left to fight. Right, cobalt hue across my chest. Form a chaos laid to rest. Confidence without the test. Blessed. 420 drifting in the frame, softening the edge of flame. Not to hide what I became, but to quiet the need for name. There were evenings sharp and wide, living tense and overfired. Every silence felt like doubt, every pause a call out. Now I sit in deeper space, let the moment set the pace. Little the guitar bending slow, like self-control. City lights in liquid blue, not something to pursue, just atmosphere and stage.
For inner age, afterglow behind the sun reminds me what I've done. Not proud in boastful way, but grounded day by day. Masculine ain't loud combustion, it's calibrated function. It's posture, firm without display. It's quiet sway, cobalt afterglow so deep. Promises I choose to keep. No need to overleap or leave. Cobalt under midnight air, nothing frantic there, just presence rare, aware. Younger shadows still ignite, burning bright in every fight. I once equated heat with crown and calm with backing down, but ritual reshaped the spark, gave structure to the dark, turned urgency to tone and ego into bone. Engine humming toward the dawn, cobalt thin and nearly gone. Afterglow still in my chest, steady rest, blue fade, slow breath, still.
Low voltage, night home, no flicker. Oh,
No, the nocturne and low voltage light, city wire but soft tonight. Electric hum beneath the skin, different than it's ever been. There was surge inside my tone, overcharged and overthrown. Every challenge sparked a rise, every glance a compromise. I thought power meant high beam, always sharp and always seen. Never dim and never slow, never letting weakness show. Now I understand the current, how to hold it, not to burn it. Low voltage doesn't mean weak, just stable sleep. Baseline grounded thick and wide, like a tempered inner tide. Not erupting into flame, but never tame. Current flowing steady calm, not alarm. Masculine without the flash or crash. Now it's turning calm, not alarm. Masculine without the flash or crash, no flash. Nocturne in low voltage glow, no more living high and low. Confidence I move slow, flow, flow. Low voltage in my tone, strength that's fully grown. No need for overthrow, zone, zone. 420 drifting through the night, not escape, not flight, just moving static in the wire of contained desire. Yeah, you did top end in blue, echoing what I outgrew. Not erased but integrated, form of heat recalibrated. There were nights I spiked too high, lit the room and drained the sky. Burned bright then burned out, filled with doubt. Now I regulate the spark, hold the dark without extinguishing the flame or chasing fame. City lights and softened line, no longer a sign of something I must conquer or outnumber. Yeah, masculine ain't voltage peak, it's steady frequency. It's knowing when to dim the light and still burn bright. Low voltage, steady check, form of chaos put to rest. Confidence internally pressed and blessed and blessed. Nocturne humming through the gray, night fading into day. Still I stay this way. Younger currents still surge high, trying electrify. Believing shock equals rain, ignoring strain. I once chased that spike, felt alive until the fuse ran thin and I burned within. Now the current flows in line, calibrated spine. Engine humming under sky, no need to amplify. Low voltage, heavy bass, grounded pace, no
smoke flicker and the mind align. Voltage,
silk smoke, numbers low, everything measured. Silk smoke,
silk smoke curling through the night. Street lights softened out of sight. Arithmetic in how I move, every action I approve. There was chaos in my math, every slight became a path to escalation, to display the proven strength the louder way. I would multiply the spark, turn the flicker to the dark. Add reaction to the tone, subtract calm I could've owned. Now I calculate with breath, not flirting with regret or death. Balance over brute display, measured sway, baseline heavy, rounded deep. Like a vow I choose to keep, not to feed the inner rush or let my better judgment hush.
silk smoke in the violet air, soft but aware, discipline and quiet some as the night becomes.
Silk smoke, arithmetic, no more living on the brink. Masculine without the trick, all gimmick. Silk smoke under neon line, confidence by design. Nothing frantic in the spine, align. Yeah. 420 drifting thin and wide, settling what lived inside. Not escape from self-reflect, but honoring self-respect. There were years I counted wrong, measure work by staying strong in every argument and clash in every heated verbal flash. Now subtraction feels like gain, removing unnecessary strain. Division of the ego's weight, recalibrate through the guitar. Bending low like lessons learned to let it go. Not suppressed but organized, former heat neutralized. City skyline in cool tone, no longer a throne. Just backdrop for the glide of ascent. It's drive, masculine.
It's not excess, it's discipline under stress. It's knowing when to multiply and when to simplify.
Silk smoke steady in my chest, no more need to overtest. Strength internally assess best. Silk smoke arithmetic, nothing fragile, nothing slick, just deliberating thick, brick by brick. Younger sparks still calculate with impulse as their state multiplying noise and pride, letting logic slide. I once tallied wins that way, chasing louder display until the numbers didn't add and silence felt too bad. Now I count in different scale breath that doesn't fail, pulse steady in the drum, integrated sum, engine humming toward the dawn, smoke, then intention gone, hermetic, complete, discreet.
Down slow, low. Count slow, glow, low. Iron halo, haze rising, breath steady.
Iron halo in the haze, Street lights bending through the fade. Metal glow above my head, different from the path I led. There was steel inside my stare, silent warning in the air. Every move a guarded stance, never leaving room to dance. I believed in pressures waiting, escalating every state. Thought authority meant tight, never soft and never light. Now the halo's forged, not loud, not dependent on a crowd. Iron tempers moving slow, holding glow. Baseline heavy in the ribs, like the promise discipline gives. Not explosive, not extreme, measured in between.
Haze don't blur when mind is clear. No fear, masculine without the mask, no overtask.
Iron halo in the night, strength refining low light. No compulsion left to fight. Right, iron halo heavy tone. Confidence that's grown, not brittle like a thrown stone. 420 drifting like a veil, softening what used to rail against the silence in my chest, against the need to always test. There were nights I wore my edge like a blade along a ledge, ready always to engage. Heat on every page, now the heat is still below, like controlled undertow. Melody guitar bending deep, promises I keep. City skyline blurred in gray, no longer something I must sway or dominate. With sharpened will, I'm still masculine in pressure high, steady under skies. I'm cool by time, refined. Iron halo through the smoke, former patterns broke. Strength that doesn't provoke or choke. Iron halo in my chest, for my chaos laid to rest. Breathe a line and self-assess. Younger halos flash and flare, heat without repair. I once burned that way, sharp display until the weight became too much. Too many sparks to touch, too many fights to win, and none within. Now the iron shaped by flame, without the need for name. Engine humming in the dawn, halo on.
I stay.